Hi, I'm here with Joe Holden, who's the Cornwall Ladies head coach, and Dave, who's the team manager. So 7 weeks ago, they started their campaign, didn't they? The British Police, it was the first game. Conditions were awful. How did the girls manage with it?
Yeah, I mean, the police game was great for us. We've always struggled to get a friendly game before the start of any season for county, haven't we? So to actually have the police turn around and say, yes, I mean, obviously we were planning to, but the Navy pulled out on us, unfortunately. But it did mean we had one game to see pretty much all the players that we wanted to see before we chose our final squad. So yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity. Although the weather was horrific and it absolutely tipped it down, we managed to get all the girls on. They all showed what they could do, and to be fair, we did make some selections from that game that got into the 30 that we probably wouldn't have made. So it's always good to have those games.
And I think it carried on throughout the series of games in that the people that came on didn't weaken the team at all. So every game that we played, all the replacements that came on kept us going strong. So yeah.
Did anything specific about that game impress you?
Bunty's dive gave us all a heart attack on the basis that we thought she might have injured herself, but just grit. I mean, that pure grit. They were a big side. Sorry, they were a big side, the opposition. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the police, we knew it was going to be tough. They, I think we didn't play the team that played the Army a few weeks beforehand that beat them. They obviously brought down their more developing rugby players, but still brought in experience as well. So that for us was just great. And when you say we always learn every game. So whether it's that development game or whether it's even the final, I think we learned things about players that you sometimes don't get to see. So yeah, every game's a learning curve, but it was fantastic to have that friendly before.
Oh, brilliant. Obviously, it really helped their confidence. So the next game was Berkshire. It was a good win, 86-0. Were you worried the girls would get complacent for the next game?
I didn't think they were going to get complacent because we'd already had the discussion of what we thought was going to happen. You never know with county. You never know what teams are going to bring in. But again, with Berkshire, they never gave up. And I think that helped with our consistency, actually, because sometimes when you go against teams and they start to fade towards the end, your team fades towards the end. But what we did find, again, like you said, we learned things all the time. Those players that we did bring on did keep the consistency, and the fact that Berkshire were coming back at us, it did mean that they still had to fight for that game. And we also knew Devon was going to be tough, so we did know we had to beat them by at least 50 and over 50. And again, they went out and did a job.
Yeah. And I think we also were aware that Berkshire weren't going to be strong because they'd already lost it. Weren't going to be as strong because they'd already lost to Devon. And I was speaking to a couple of guys that I know from up there, and it's very much a development journey. They're kind of where we were probably about 4 years ago, aren't they? So they're on that journey. So hopefully, they'll improve as seasons go on.
You mentioned Devon was next. Obviously, complete opposite of the British Police. Really hot. How did the girls manage with that?
Well, to be fair, I think this has been the coolest year for us, actually, because normally when we play, it's normally ice buckets and as much sun cream as we possibly can without blinding them. But yeah, hot conditions. I mean, I always say it's horrible for us, but it's always horrible for the opposition as well. So, but again, we kind of knew with Devon. Devon was always going to be a challenge because we knew we didn't have those Ivy players that were off playing in their final in Twickenham. So it was a real great chance for those players that were in the squad to give themselves a fighting chance of getting to that next game if we got there. We were hoping that was the case. And again, that was a really tough, nitty-gritty performance, and they needed that, I think, as well. I think you need a game that you really need to step up and show what you can do. And I think around half time, I don't know about you, but I was thinking there was a good chance that we could have lost that game.
Yeah.
But again, Cornish grit, Cornish granite, whatever you want to call it, their determination is second to none, and their commitment to it. And like you said, you bring on those impact players, and it changes the game. And we were quite comfortable towards the end, luckily. But it was still a hard slog on that one.
I think we were slow to the blocks on three of the games, Devon, North Mids, and the final. I think we came out, didn't really hit our pace until about 15, 20 minutes into it. But the second half, and particularly the last 20 minutes of the Devon game, were exceptional. We just put them to bed, and it was a good feeling, a really good feeling.
A few calls in the Devon game didn't quite go your way and could be seen as controversial. How do you manage the players' frustrations in those moments?
I think, how do you manage all of our frustrations in that moment? No, I don't think we've ever had like an easy game with like the officials going your way all the time. And I mean, it is something that I say, we don't get to have those games without officials. You know, we have to kind of live with it. My thing is, if they're consistently doing things to us that they're doing to the other team, then you have to take it. When it feels a bit one-sided, which, the Devon game felt a little bit like that, but maybe it wasn't in someone else's eyes. It's always hard, but I think the best thing is that they rose above it. They didn't kind of go for the official, which is something that I always say there's literally no point in doing. They just got on with it, and I think that shows, the class of the team, because if they know things are going against them that they can't control, and they didn't get angry about it, and they just got on and did their job, then that's all you can kind of ask for. So
we're quite strict on the touchline as well. In that, the replacements, if they show their frustrations or whatever, we kind of like chill, just let it happen.
Which you learnt off me.
I did. I've learned everything off you, Jo. Never too old to learn.
At this point, did you dare let yourself dream about going to Twickenham?
No. I and again, it's always in the back of your mind, and I always, from the beginning, I said, if we complete this campaign, we play 4 games, which isn't a lot. So it is, there's a lot of prep that goes into that. We got to the semi-final before 2 years ago, and I think I kind of let myself think that we could do it then. But like we said with County, you never know what you're going to come up against. So I knew it was going to be a real hard game against North Midlands. After the Devon game was finished, and we started doing our research straight away. But no, until the final whistle of the North Midlands game, no, not for me anyway.
No, not me. And that was that for me was the game of the campaign, in that it epitomised community rugby. The North Mids people were amazing. Our guys were amazing. After the game, sat down and had a chat and put the world to right, all of us together, and they were wishing us luck for the final. That they were just a credit to the game after we'd beaten them. But yeah, it was a good day out.
Yeah, real good.
Yeah, they were lovely. So the halftime score for the North Midlands was 7-0 to them. What was the chat at halftime? Because the girls seemed to turn it around after that. Yeah,
I mean, for me, again, we went down against Devon, and they came back. I mean, even in final, we went down. I think it's one score. It always sounds worse in rugby, I think, because obviously it's 5 points and it's an extra 2 points. So, at the end of the day, it's 1 point, isn't it? 1 point with a kick. So to come back after being 7-0 down, for me, I don't think that was a challenge. I also knew, again, impact players for that North Mids game, I knew they were going to make a big impact. When you start bringing players back like Michaela Roberts, like your Lizzie Langtons, to add to what we've already got on the pitch. I've talked about G Hall a lot over this campaign, and the effect that she's had on games, and people kept asking me why I wasn't starting her. But when you can have someone like that can finish a game, you need her on the bench, and you need her ready to come on just to, for those moments. If you are 7-0 down, you need to look for someone. And for me, I always look for G. She was my player that I called upon more than anybody else this campaign. And I think she deserves a lot for that. So there's a lot of people that scored tries, that maybe did runs. But I think if you go back to the origins of where they started, a lot of them started with G. So, being 7-0 down for me I don't see that as a big problem. I just see that as something we have to overcome quite quickly.
She also brings her kicking tee with her, doesn't she? Which she has got a good boot, so that helps as well, because she adds the bonus points.
Obviously, the final, Durham. What were the preparations for that one?
Again, we didn't need to change much, if I'm honest. Like, we did make some difficult decisions, as in, like, we did change the team round for the final, and I think, that's something that we've always talked about, is we'll always try and put out our best team. In the semi-final, our best team was our best team that went out. After the semi-final, obviously, players put their name on the table, and we have to be true to our word and say we are going to put our best Cornish side out for that final. But again, not taking anything away from those impact players, because again, they still had to come and do a job. But we knew that the final was going to be hard. Like I said, we were unlucky against Durham, and that was the last thing that we wanted to think about. We wanted to think about how we could overcome that, how we could be actually more physical. But we don't need to change the script, because everything that we were doing, it was right. So we didn't need to change a lot. We needed, more than anything, we needed to give them as much rest as possible. We obviously needed to give them time to kind of be excited about it, but then come back down to earth and be like, we've actually got a job to do. And I think that was probably the hardest thing for Twickenham, was kind of, obviously with our own emotions as well. You want them to feel it, you want them to enjoy it, but you also have to have that, we actually do have a job to do here, and it doesn't matter what pitch you're on. I mean, we could be back in the horse stables where we started, or you could be at Twickenham, and you have to have the same commitment to that as you do at the beginning as you do at the end. And this team has shown that all the way through, and I think that's what helped us win it in the end at Twickenham.
I mean, we played them 2 years before up in Durham, and it was the hottest day of the year, and I think we lost 4, maybe 5 players in the first 20 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah.
So we were down to bare bones, and Homer referee. Not going to say anything more about that, but it was a tough game up there, and we narrowly lost. And then we had was it an 8-hour bus journey or 10-hour bus journey back?
It works out around 10 hours for the Campbell girls, doesn't it?
To get back. So we knew some of their players already. We knew that it was going to be a challenge, but with the backing of the CRFU for both the men and the women, the girls stayed up the night before. Only had a 15-minute drive into Twickenham. Big crowd there, including yourselves, which is great, to welcome them and put them in the right frame of mind. The changing rooms, you've got to be inspired if you just go into the England changing rooms. I mean, they're well, we were in the away ones, but they're just amazing. And Joe and Claire get it set up that it's home every time. Cornish flags, shirts out, everything's set up, pucker. So the desire has got to be there if you don't want to go out and play on a Twickenham pitch, which again is so wide. It's huge, it's massive for a guy with my legs.
When you had to run that kicking tee on it,
and then he kept scoring on the far side. It was getting quite cross.
Were the girls getting nervous the night before and when they walked in the changing rooms?
Do you know what? I think there was like nervous excitement, but I think they were they were calmer than I thought they were going to be, if I'm honest, unless I didn't see it, but which could be the case. But I think I'd hope we'd installed in them that we still had a job to do. And I think they knew what it meant. Like, it wasn't like, I mean, Durham had already been to Twickenham, so they'd already had that kind of experience. Whereas our girls hadn't. And they also knew what it means for Cornish rugby. A lot of them that know me know what we've been fighting for, since I've been involved in the setup. We have been fighting for breaking ground, making history, and just ripping up anything that anybody's ever said about Cornish women's rugby and saying, no, we'll make our own rules and we'll go with it. So I think they knew it was history. So they didn't want to go out there and not look good, if that makes sense. Like, they wanted to go out there and show everybody what they can do. And if you're not impressed with how they played on that Saturday, then I don't know why you're a rugby fan, because that game had everything that you could ever want. Yeah, okay, you could probably say there's still some more skill level to come into it, and there's probably some decisions in there that personally I would have changed that they made, but you can't say that wasn't an entertaining game. You can't say that the Cornish women didn't do everybody proud. So yeah, I think they knew. So I think that yeah, probably I'm hoping it's kind of a little bit of influence from all the like the backroom stuff that we didn't get overexcited about it. We kind of went there because we knew we wanted to finish the job. So I think that's how I felt.
Yeah,
anyway.
and I think on the day, if you looked at the performance, it was a team performance, a cracking team performance with some individual brilliance. I mean, Michaela's try was incredible. Abby on the wing, isn't it?
Abby,
Yeah, 2 tries in a night game. I mean, and the both of those, and then Hannah Mills's try. I mean, it's just massive team performance, but with just a touch of class from individuals, which. Yeah.
And I think that's been in every game, isn't it? Like the little touch of individual brilliance. I mean, I think the North Mids game, Hannah Mills's try.
Yeah.
I think the whole Cornish team, but Hannah Mills' try came from Alex Hutchins' try 2 minutes beforehand, and that just lifted our whole team. And suddenly they did the plays that we wanted them to do, and then they shifted the defence, and we had that space on the outside. But Hannah Mills's pace, I mean, she had a lot of work to do to score that try.
Yeah.
But it's stuff like that has made this, and even at Twickenham, Abby Mescalier, that first try for her, for us on that Twickenham soil. I mean, someone needs to stand up and look at a few of our players, because I do, I generally feel, Cornwall is kind of like they don't look at the players that we have, and I think there's definitely opportunities there for our girls to be playing higher. So, yeah.
What was the final emotion when the final whistle went?
I think the picture of Joe Verity and myself sums it up. I think I even got about 6 inches off the floor when I jumped.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. I mean, we knew it was in the bag with about 8 minutes to go. So you're like thinking about what's going to happen. But yeah, I think it was just amazing to end a campaign that started in the pouring rain in Falmouth. On a sunny day, well, it turned out to be a sunny afternoon for us.
We had the best weather.
Yeah, or sunny morning for us in Twickenham, and it was just amazing. It was a great feeling, and you could see the emotions on the players. It was something to behold. Yeah,
I think probably relief for me, in terms of it is a lot of hard work that goes on in the background. There is so much stuff that we want to do, and we put it on ourselves because, like I said, we want to make it special. We mentioned the changing room, we mentioned just little things for the players, even if it's like feedback. We for the whole 30 players, I hope that every single one of them had that individual experience as well as the team one that made it worthwhile for them. So for me, it was probably a little bit of relief, a little bit of we've done it. I think I'm still kind of reacting to it. There was a lot of emotions for me at the end. I don't think I fully celebrated because I just think I'm just thinking of the next thing now. What we do next.
What's that then?
We'll find out.
If you had to describe the whole thing in one word, what would it be?
Inspirational.
Epic.
Oh, awesome.
Inspirationally epic. 2 words.
Yeah. From both of us.
Yeah.
We've got one thing to give you as well. Well done for all your hard work.
Thank you very much.
That's all right, no worries. Well done.
That's brilliant.
Cool.
No, and thank you from us for all your coverage and everything. It's been fantastic. And we spoke about it just before the campaign, and I said anyone that wants to help the women's game is always welcome. But you guys have really, really helped with our social media. And again, we have to thank Izzy and Becky Ninnis for their photography, Simon and David Burrows for the videography. But yeah, I mean, you guys make it worth it as well. Like it really do. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much.